Now back to Dialed In.
Hey, you're dialed in. So I'm watching the Camping World Truck Series race. I'm covering it. I'm watching it and I'm covering it. And I'm like, who is Ross Chastain? Somebody needs to call him up. He's a real young guy. And here he is smoking him. And he gets a finish, like a 10th place finish. And he beats a lot of big names. He finishes 10th in the National Watermelon Promotion Board Chevrolet at Lucas Oil Raceway. And I'm like, who is this guy? And then he beats the likes of Parker Kligerman and Todd Bodine. He beats Nelson Piquet Jr. and Brendan Gaughan, who's been around for a long time, and Johnny Sauter, who's a hell of a racer. And he finishes 10th in a huge race for him. And okay, Paul Menard, had the race of his lifetime at the Brickyard 400. But for Ross Chastain, this is a huge race. And he's 18 years old, right? And I say, let's get him on, call him up. Let's get him on the line so everybody knows who he is. We have the calls queued up for the bet that I'm making coming up in the next segment. And so you can still call and get in on the bet. Denny Hamlin or Jeff Gordon. Who do I vote for? Who do I bet to be finishing better than the other with Jeffrey Earnhardt? Meanwhile, though, who is Ross Chastain? He joins me now on Dialed In. I got to tell you, Ross, you had a great finish in the Camping World Truck Series race. I know it wasn't a win, but it had to feel like one to you.
Yes, ma'am. We were going in just trying to make the race, and to come out of Indy of all places with a 10th place finish, that was something else.
Can you tell people a little bit about yourself? Because 18 years old, you've had a lot of auto racing trophies. You've earned maneuvering late models on a number of tracks. And, you had said growing up racing, you always think you have a shot. You always think you're going to be the next Dale Earnhardt or Jeff Gordon. But once you race for a couple of years, you start wondering, where can I go to the next level? So you were thinking about competing at Indianapolis. Is this real? I've dreamed this for years, you said. So you're working on your family's watermelon farm, and you're dreaming of racing. And the Watermelon Promotion Board has helped support you for a long time. And you go to enter the race just trying to finish. Take us from there. Tell us about the race itself.
The race itself, when we went and tested on Tuesday, and we were all right. We weren't as fast as we wanted to. The truck drove good, and the team was great. And we showed up to Indy, and right up, we were 29th the first practice. Just me not learning the track. We made a lot of laps. And then going into the next practice, we ended up 19th. I never did a mock-up qualifying run. We did that. That was something else when you do that, when you tape up the nose and all that. It's just unbelievable how much of a difference all that makes. And then when we qualified 15th, I was like, man, we got a shot to at least let people know we're here. I mean, we went to the race to make the race on time and then not go a lap down and top 20. And to be 10th and ended up being a lap down just because of how it all played out. But it was crazy to pass Todd Bodine and Parker Kligerman, like you said, and drive by Elliott Sadler and those guys. It was unbelievable as I was doing it. I didn't know who was on what lap and who I was racing for position. They said, run as hard as you can, we'll come in, get gas, and run as hard as you can to the end. And that's what we did, and we came out with a 10th place finish. It was unbelievable, and nobody expected it.
And really, you didn't, you should get a lot of attention for that. You should get a call from a national radio show. And I ended up going, let's get him on the line, because that's a great finish. When you got done, what were you thinking after you got done?
Well, we pulled down the infield, and I pulled in behind my teammate because I ended up just like a half straightaway behind him when the race got over. So pulled in the infield behind him, and that was Cole Witt. He got out, and it was 8th place finish, but of course he wasn't happy from the success he's had. Well, we got out and dumping water. We were dumping water on everybody on my team, and Doug, the crew chief came down. He dumped water on me, Mr. Doug, and it was whole family came running down there, just high five and hugs, and it was so unexpected. I mean, I mean, we're coming from late models. I'm not supposed to go do good in the NASCAR Truck Series. So,
You think?
but it was.
Do you think anybody noticed? Do you think people noticed it? I know I did.
They had to hear my mom and my aunt and all them screaming. I don't know how they could have missed that. So, um, everybody was happy, and our phones have been ringing off the hook ever since with people congratulating us and wishing us luck on moving forward as we're trying to keep racing now. Now we're on to the next step. Now it's sank in. We got 10th, and we're ready to move on.
Yeah, I like that. Now, do you you don't have another? Do you have another race or another ride, or is this like a one shot deal? And which is really makes it even bigger because it's like, okay, here you are, kid. You're 18. Here's your shot, and that's all. That's all you got. It's like the bus only stops so many times. You can't screw it up. Well, you didn't. You did it on the shot that you had. So, do you have another opportunity anywhere?
No, ma'am, not as of now. We the National Watermelon Promotion Board, Melon One and JDI they've been with us forever since I started racing fast trucks in 2006. That's where I got my start racing, and they've been with us, and they were able to push us to this level. But this is looking like this is as far as they're going to be able to go. And looking forward, this was a one race deal with Turn One Racing. I really hope we can work something out. They're a great team. They're a great bunch of guys. I haven't met anybody else that I would want to work with. We're trying really hard, talking to as many people as we can, but we haven't found that sponsor to let us go racing. That's what we want to do, and we got to find the right person that's ready to go, just like we are.
Well, that was a race of a lifetime then. I mean, you have this one shot deal. It's like, okay, here is your opportunity. You'll remember it for the rest of your life. Go do your best, and you finish 10th.
Exactly. It was something else. I mean, and it was just a great day at the racetrack and leading up to it, and now after, and just the people we met. It was a great experience, but I definitely don't want it to be the last. That's not part of the plan. The plan is Mr. Brett Bodine just called me today and approved me for a mile track because I was at a half mile. And so he said I could go to any mile track now and do at least 2 more races, if not 3 this year. And then if I do all right, if I do good, hopefully keep running like we are, then we'll have an open license then we'll be ready for Daytona and run next year.
That's amazing. You began racing when you were 12, which was just like yesterday. You ran ASA Late Model South Series last year with GMR Motorsports. You won the race in your first attempt at driving a Legends car, 6 racing championships from the state of Florida, 50-plus feature wins. I mean, go through this since 2008. Champion 3rd in points at Punta Gorda Speedway. Auto racing late model champion and a 10th place finish in the Camping World Truck Series. Racing past guys like Todd Bodine. That's amazing. What do you want to say to everybody? I so thank you for coming on tonight. Those stories have to be told because it's part of the sheer joy of racing to see guys like you do what you did the other night.
Right, and that's I don't know what to say. I mean, I have for my story to keep. Hopefully, my story this isn't the end of it. We're trying on the phone as much as we can, talking to everybody we can, trying just every avenue that opens up, just that cracks the door open. We're looking into it, trying to figure out if this could be our ticket to proving that I have what it takes and that we're ready to go. It's just, to pass Todd Bodine there, we passed him twice before we pitted for fuel and then after, and to pass Parker Kligerman and those guys that Parker led part of the race. That just goes to show how good of a truck we had. A little better strategy. I think we were about a sixth or seventh place truck. Who would have thought that race would have went that many laps without a caution? I haven't. That was my first race, and going in, I knew it wasn't going to go over 50 laps without a caution. That was unheard of. So,
yeah,
hopefully,
really good. Hopefully you'll get something out of it, right?
Exactly. That's the whole part of the plan, just to get my foot in the door, show what I can do, and then hopefully the right person saw it. It's all about timing, and hopefully if somebody didn't see, they're listening now, and they're ready to go racing, because we're ready to go truck racing and see what we can do, play with the big boys.
Ross, it's a pleasure to meet you. Now, do you ever watch the Cup races? Are you a guy who will sit down and watch them?
Oh yeah. We sit down, and we were actually heading back from Indy because we drove up in our motorhome, and we took our late model trailer so that we would have a place to hang out. Just we got there early and left after the nationwide race. We actually left Sunday morning and watched the Cup race on the computer on the way home. But that was a heck of a race there for Paul Menard. That was my Brickyard 400.
Really? No kidding. Hey, I got to ask you something. Just gut reaction. I got a bet I made with Jeffrey Earnhardt a few minutes ago. If you had to pick, just your gut reaction, it wouldn't be the final vote. If you had to pick between Denny Hamlin and Jeff Gordon, I know this is terrible, I'm doing this to this 18-year-old racer. If you had to pick between Denny Hamlin and Jeff Gordon to win at Pocono, I mean, not win, to do better at Pocono, which one would finish better? How's that? Which one would you pick? I'm torn. Jeff Gordon, Denny Hamlin.
I don't know. Denny Hamlin made such a run last year at Mr. Johnson there, but the way Gordon's been running, he won the last race, and then and was the fastest car at Indy. I'd have to go with Gordon just by those two stats. I don't know. I have no idea. It's because now I know what goes into all these NASCAR cars is beyond what anybody could ever imagine. Jeff Gordon could show up this weekend and he could run 40. It's just not even be fast. So you just never know.
Right. Ross, what's the highest NASCAR series that you've raced in? Is this just out of nowhere you raced the trucks? What's the highest series in NASCAR that you've been in? This is your only race here?
Yes, ma'am. This was my biggest step. I've ran late models around Florida and some Georgia races with the ASA series with GMR Motorsports. We did that for a year, and that it just never could get it to work. But when we ran GMR, we've ran our own late models, and had a lot of success. We've won championships and set track records and did everything you can do on this level. And for us and the promotion board, that was the next step. I mean, there's ARCA, there's the Camping World East. I've raced against guys that have did all that, and I just never see it work out for them. Hopefully, because you just get so much more exposure to run the truck series. And then whenever we did good, a 10th in ARCA and a 10th in the Camping World Truck Series, I think that's a big difference.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I want to say, Ross, I thank you for coming on. I really felt you deserved some attention. Now that I know your story, I even feel better about asking to have you on, and I thank you for taking the call, and I congratulate you on finishing 10th in the AAA Insurance 200. Keep me posted, all right?
All right, man. Thank you.